All right, we've got a beautiful day here today. We all good? Always great to be out. Cape Henry Collegiate to see a beautiful baseball game. So, here we go. All right, well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the 2022 VISAA State Baseball Tournament playoff game between the number 1 seed Cape Henry Dolphins and the number 9 seed St. Stephen's St. Agnes Saints from Alexandria, Virginia. The Dolphins are currently 23-3 and ranked number 1 in the region and 3rd in the state of Virginia. They defeated NSA on Friday for the TCS title by a score of 7-0. The Saints enter today's game with a record of 17-9. They defeated Flint Hill by a score of 4-1 in yesterday's play-in game to get here today. Weather-wise, we have a beautiful breezy day. The temps are hovering in the high 70s. The field, as always, is in excellent condition, thanks to the hard-working athletic department and field crews from Cape Henry Collegiate. The Saints are coached by James Supple. We'll start with their lineup. Batting first and playing short is Josiah Harris. Batting second in center field, A.J. Degler. Batting third and playing third, Drew Norton. Batting first, Ryan Osinski. Catcher, Charlie Bounds. Right fielder is Aiden Pothom. DH, Maddie Leonardo. Pitcher, Oliver Miller. And the second baseman is Terrell Smith-Cole. Pitching for the Dolphins today is Tanner Schleidel. The right-hander comes in with 30 innings pitched, 36 strikeouts, 11 walks, and an ERA of 1.19. The Dolphins head coach is Tim Hummel. Assistant coaches William Chadwick, Chris Dolatello, and Ian Morrison, and Tyler Faubert. Finally, our umpires for today are Curly, Larry, and Mo. Well, now that all the formalities are out of the way, let's turn off our cell phones, sit back, and enjoy this timeless game of baseball. Leading off for St. Stephen's St. Agnes, the Saints, Josiah Harris, shortstop. And the first pitch is popped up. First baseman Parker White is under it, and he makes the catch. One pitch, one out. Batting second for the Saints, A.J. Degler, the center fielder. Schleidel's second pitch is high and outside for ball 1. Inside, ball 2. Defensively for the Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins, Cooper Angley's behind the plate. As mentioned, Tanner Schleidel pitching. Outside, ball 3. Jack Wickham at third, Josh Holland at short, Yoon Che at second, Parker White at first. In right field is Harper Cox, Andrew Hart in center, and Kenny Schleidel in left field. And that's ball 4, so the second batter, A.J. Degler, walks on 4 pitches. Man on first, 1 out. Batting third, the third baseman, Drew Norton. Looks down to third base, gets the signs, steps into the box. And here's the pitch. Swings at the first pitch, soft ground ball down the third base line, and it's foul. Wickham had to wait till that ball rolled foul. And good thing, because he would not have had a play either at first or second base. So Tanner Schleidel, after getting the first batter on 1 pitch, walked the next batter on 4. So he's facing his third batter now with a man on first and 1 out. And the pitch. Low outside, ball 1. So he has not thrown a ball for a strike yet. Schleidel throws over to first. Degler is back in time. And he swings and fouls it off down the right side for 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got a nice crowd out here for the first game in the States. Ball high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the first. All the rain we've had the last couple of weeks, this is a beautiful sunny day. Nice and dry. Schleidel throws back to first. Degler's back in time. Pitch and a ground ball to second. Che makes the play, makes a very nice play over to first base for the out. Degler advances to second, but now there's 2 outs. So the cleanup hitter, Ryan Osinski, is up, the first baseman, with a man on second and 2 outs. Schleidel trying to get out of here without any damage. And the first pitch bounces it for ball 1. Degler getting a decent lead off second base. And the pitch swung on and hit to the third baseman, Wickham, who makes a nice play and a beautiful throw over for the 3rd out of the inning. So nice play by the third baseman, Jack Wickham, to get Osinski out at first. So the Saints strand a runner at second base. They bring up 4, and they go without a run in the first inning. The Dolphins are coming up in their home half of the first. Leading off for the Dolphins will be Harper Cox, the right fielder, Tanner Schleidel, the pitcher, and Kenny Schleidel, the left fielder. Oh, we have a break in the action. Allow me to give you one of my favorite baseball quotes from a movie that I'm sure you'll all recognize. I wish I could do the voice, but I think you'll understand. The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It has been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, it's part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and that could be again. James Earl Jones and Field of Dreams. Considering what's going on in the world, it's nice to just sit back, put away the watch and the cell phone, and watch some wonderful young men go out on a beautiful field on a beautiful day and play this timeless game of baseball. Oliver Miller is number 14, and he's the pitcher for the Saints. I'm sorry I don't have any statistics for the Saints. They've not been so great at upkeeping their stats over the course of the year, but I'll certainly give them to you as I can in the game of how we're doing. And he'll be pitching to the leadoff batter for the Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins, Harper Cox. Harper's currently batting .231. He's got 75 plate appearances, 12 hits, 11 RBIs, 2 doubles, and 2 triples. He leads the team in walks with 21 walks. And the first pitch to Cox is high, ball 1. Pitch 2. Inside, ball 2. Miller seems to be working quickly. And there's a pitch right down the middle for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike to Harper Cox, the leadoff hitter for the Cape Henry Dolphins. Cox takes another ball down the middle, a little high, but he takes it for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Curveball low and outside, ball 3. So quickly, Cox has a full count as a leadoff batter here in the bottom of the first inning. And the payoff pitch, outside right on the corner, strike 3. Harper must have been looking at something else, but there's 1 out now. And Tanner Schleidel, the Cape Henry pitcher, steps in. Tanner's hitting .462 with 27 runs, 30 hits, and 3 home runs. And he hits a line drive grounder to the second baseman, who makes a nice play to the first baseman and throws him out. That was a very nice play by the second baseman, and that would be Terrell Smith-Cole. So a couple of nice defensive plays already in this game, and the Dolphins have 2 outs with Kenny Schleidel up at bat. Kenny's batting .459. He's got 28 hits, which leads the team. And he takes a ball over his head for ball 1. Schleidel pitched a masterful game on Friday night to win the TCIS championship, going 7 strong innings, 3 hits, and no runs. And his brother is pitching today. Takes a curveball for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Miller got a good call on the first batter, a nice play by his second baseman on the second, and now he's got a 1-1 count to Schleidel, the third batter. Schleidel holds up. Oh, and it's called a strike. I guess he did not hold up. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. In the bottom of the first, Cape Henry Dolphins against the Saints from St. Stephen, St. Agnes in Alexandria, Virginia. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. And he takes an inside pitch, lines it to the third baseman, who makes a play, and he's called out. The first baseman seemed to have dropped the ball, and so he is awarded first base. The umpire called him out first and then changed his mind when the first baseman couldn't hold on to the ball. So Schleidel reaches on an error by the first baseman. The play was made by the third baseman, a nice throw, but the first baseman couldn't hold on. So Schleidel reaches first base on an error, and that brings up the first baseman, Parker White. Parker White hitting .419 with 3 home runs already in the season. He's a left-hander. We'll see if they got anything going with Schleidel at first, who's very speedy on the base pass. And White takes ball 1 up high. So the Dolphins, like the Saints last inning, have a base runner with 2 outs. And White pops it up back behind home plate for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the first. Kenny Schleidel at first, who reached on an error. And the pitcher throws over without much gusto. Schleidel dives back without much gusto either. And the pitch. And White hits a high fly ball that the second baseman, Smith Cole, is calling and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. So the Dolphins send up 4 batters as well, but come away with no hits and no runs. So after 1, we've got a 0-0 ball game. The Saints from St. Stephen, St. Agnes, in the top of the second, will send up their catcher and fifth hitter, Charlie Bounds, their right fielder, Aiden Pothom, and their DH, Maddie Leonardo. Tanner Schleidel back on the bump for his second inning of work, and here we go. Throws a strike on the outside corner to Charlie Bounds, the catcher. Off-speed pitch, little inside, ball 1. There's a foul ball behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beauty of our vantage point here, being dead center field, is you can see past the pitcher, you can see right into the catcher and see where that ball is going. Swing and a miss up high, and Schleidel gets his first strikeout of today. So Bounds strikes out swinging, and that brings up the right fielder, Aiden Pothom. And the pitch. Swing and foul back. Strike 1. Schleidel also starting to work a little quickly. Seems to be getting into his rhythm as well. Compared to how the weather's been, this is probably a warm one for the boys down there. Ball inside. Got a decent breeze blowing from right to left and in a little bit. So the ball probably won't be carrying. There's a ball on the outside corner and called a ball. So we've got 2 balls and 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the second inning. There's a ground ball that is taken by the shortstop Holland, and he makes a beautiful throw to first base. And that's out number 2. Wickham, the third baseman, was going to try, but Holland looked like he got there with plenty of time and had to make a nice throw, which he did. That brings up the designated hitter, number 13, Maddie Leonardo. He's a left-hander, and he takes outside, ball 1. Outside corner, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's right down the middle, but must have been a little low. Call for a ball. So working the plate today is Mo. And there's a swing and a miss. Strike 2. Curly's at the first base line and Larry's at the third base line. And the pitch. Ball low again. So Schleidel has a full count now with 2 outs in the top of the second to the designated hitter and throws a ball high and outside, and there's a walk. So Tanner has now walked a batter in each of the first 2 innings. And that brings up the pitcher, Oliver Miller. Looked like Schleidel was not so happy with the last sequence of pitches on that last batter. Either the way he threw them or the way they were called, or a combination of both. In any regard, there's a conference at the mound now with pitching coach for the Dolphins and the entire infield. I guess you'd call that a pod of Dolphins. Everybody swims back out to their position, and we pick it up with man on first. 2 outs here in the bottom, top of the second. The pitcher, Oliver Miller, stands at bat for his first time up today. And the pitch. Strike, off speed, down the middle. Runner at first takes a decent lead. Schleidel gives him a little time and then throws. And here's a ball, fly ball. Yoon Che, the second baseman, is under it and makes the play. So the Saints go out after leaving a man on base for the second inning in a row. And after 1.5 innings, it's no score. We have no hits either. The Dolphins will be sending up Jack Wickham, their third baseman, Cooper Angley, the catcher, and Yoon Che, the second baseman, who made the last out of that last inning. Good defense by both teams so far today. And I would imagine when you get to this level of the states in the playoffs, you've got teams that do play good defense. The Dolphins, while having great defense, also comes in with some of the best offense in the league. They're batting as a team .331 with 188 runs, 211 hits, and 23 home runs. So the Dolphins are no strangers to putting crooked numbers up on the board. We'll see what they can do at the bottom of the second inning here against St. Stephen and St. Agnes Saints from Alexandria, Virginia. That would be Alexandria, Virginia. So Oliver Miller comes out for his second inning of work, and he'll face the third baseman for the Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins, Jack Wickham. Wickham batting .333 with 21 RBIs and 5 home runs. See what he can do his first time up today against Oliver Miller. And the pitch. Taken for a strike on the outside corner, strike 1. Nice off-speed pitch on the inside corner for strike 2. Down and away, ball 1. And there's a call, strike 3 on the inside corner. So Wickham is out on looking at an inside pitch for strike 3. That'll bring up the catcher, Cooper Angley. Cooper's batting .310 with 14 RBIs and 4 doubles. He takes ball 1 on the outside corner. Lines a ball straight up the middle for the first hit of the game. And so the Dolphins get their first hit on a very nice line shot right up the middle for Cooper Angley, the catcher. That'll bring up the second baseman, Yoon Che. Cooper Angley, being the catcher, will be replaced now by Reed Downs, pitch runner. Che's batting .344 with 21 RBIs. He's leading the team in RBIs, tied with Jack Wickham. Downs has some speed at first, and Miller throws over. Not sure if the Dolphins will put a bunt on. Nope. Che takes ball one high. Takes a look down at the third base coach, gets the sign, and steps back in. And the pitch. Strike one on the outside corner. 1-1 count to Yoon Che, second baseman. Reed Downs, the pitch runner at first. One out, bottom of the first. And Downs goes. Chase swings and misses, and they got him. Nice throw by the catcher. That would be Charlie Bounds to the second baseman, Terrell Smith-Cole, and Downs is caught stealing for the second out of the inning. Che now has a 1-2 count, and he hits a fly ball to center, and the center fielder comes in and makes the catch. So the Dolphins, after getting thrown out of second base, fly out, and they're out 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. So no score. We have our first hit of the game, but no score, no runs for either team. And Tanner Schleidel comes back out to work the third. Dolphins had something going there in the second, but couldn't capitalize. Got thrown out at second on a good play by the catcher on the Saints. Charlie Bounds came up throwing. Terrell Smith-Cole made a nice play at second. It wasn't very close at second. But that brings us to the third inning. Leading off for the Saints will be their second baseman, who's made a couple of nice plays in this game so far. Their number 9 hitter, Terrell Smith-Cole. And we'll go back up to the top of the lineup to Josiah Harris, the shortstop, and A.J. Degler, the center fielder. No score here in the top of the third. And there's a strike down the middle. Strike two. Good off-speed changeup. 2 strikes, no balls, no outs. And the pitch bounces it on the outside corner for ball 1. Schleidel's been pretty accurate, but when he misses, it's usually been a big miss. Misses high, but Smith-Cole swings anyway and fouls it off into the screen. So the count stands at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Inside high, ball 2. Schleidel moving Smith-Cole off the plate a little bit. And throws one right down the middle. Fly ball to the right fielder, and Cox is right there for out number 1. So that takes us to the top of the order. Josiah Harris, the shortstop, flied out to Parker White, the first baseman, his first time up. Ball high again. Seems the Saints have decided to crowd the plate a little bit. Most of their batters are standing close to the inside part of the plate. And Schleidel throws a fastball right down the middle for strike one. Not sure what the scouting report was on Schleidel, but he throws one inside. Ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out. Ball high. 3 balls, 1 strike. So Schleidel is having a little concern issues. And it looks like the Dolphins are going to get somebody up in the pen. And there's a ground ball to Wickham, and it goes through his legs for a hit. Jack sort of got tied up a little bit there. So Josiah Harris reaches on an error on the third baseman, Wickham. And so the Saints have a base runner at first with 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. Dolphins have had a good job, have done a good job this year turning double plays between Holland at short and Che at second. Let's see if they can turn one here. Schleidel goes to A.J. Degler, and there's a ball hit to the second baseman, who flips it to Holland, and there's the double play we were looking for. So Che to Holland to White, 4-6-3 textbook double play, and that gets us out of the inning. So the Saints have left a runner, I should say, stranded each inning, but they come away with no runs. They don't have a hit either. They've reached base on an error and a walk, 2 walks. So they have no hits yet. They've left a runner on base each of the 3 innings they've been up. Josh Holland will lead off for the Dolphins. Last batter, the shortstop, who was just part of that beautiful turn at second base for the double play. He'll be facing Oliver Miller, who's out there for his 3rd inning. Holland is batting .266, 17 hits and 10 RBIs on the season. He's the number 8 hitter. He'll be followed by the number 9 hitter, Andrew Hart, and then back at the top of the order for Harper Cox. So here we go to the bottom of the 3rd. No score in this round 1 playoff game between the number 1 seeded Cape Henry Dolphins and the 9 seed St. Stephen's St. Agnes Saints from Alexandria, Virginia. And the first pitch to Josh Holland is swung on and missed, strike 1. Second pitch, swung on, missed again. Off speed. Good changeup on the inside corner, so Holland is in the hole at 0-2. And he looks at a ball outside for ball 1. Swings and hits a floater over the second baseman's head for a single. And Holland, after being 0-2, gets a nice base hit off the end of his bat over the first baseman's head. So the Dolphins have their leadoff runner on in their second hit of the ball game, and that brings up Andrew Hart, the center fielder. Andrews batting .240. He scored 14 times. He's got 13 hits and a home run. And he takes outside, ball 1. Holland not exactly speedy down there at first base, but we'll see if the Dolphins put anything on. After last inning, most likely not. Give Hart a chance to swing here. And the pitch, curveball in there for a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs. Runner on first. Oliver Miller pitching for the Saints. Hart steps out. Miller, as I said before, is working quickly today. And he takes a ball outside again. Hart looked like he was backing out of the box. Didn't get time called, but was outside for a ball anyway. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Seems ready to go now. And there's a nice pitch down the middle that Hart swings and foul tips back into the catcher's glove for strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, no outs, runner on first. And the pitch. And Hart hits a high fly ball that the shortstop is under and makes the play. And that's Josiah Harris for out number 1 in the inning. So we go back to the top of the order now with Harper Cox up. Harper struck out looking the first inning. Again, Cox is batting right around .229. Runner on first. Cox is a left-hander. Let's see if he can do anything, and he takes a strike on the outside corner for strike 1. Ball high. Curveball on the outside corner, but just misses. 2 balls, 1 strike. Home plate umpire is being selective. We'll use that word. And the pitch. That's in the inside corner for a strike. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at first. No score here in the bottom of the 3rd. Harper Cox, the batter. And he takes strike 3, curveball on the outside corner. So Cox strikes out looking for the 2nd time today. And that's our 2nd out of the game, of the inning. And that brings up Tanner Schleidel, the pitcher for the Cape Henry Dolphins. Schleidel's the leading hitter for the Dolphins at a .462 average, and we could use a good hit here. And he takes high off speed, ball 1. With their best hitter up, I doubt they'll send Holland at first. And that's called for a strike on the outside corner. A little high, but called for strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on first. Off speed pitch, high. Ball 2. I think the batters are trying to figure out where the strike zone is. Definitely an advantage to the pitchers if they're close. Ball on the outside corner, so now we have a 3-ball, 1 count with 2 outs. Schleidel, again, best hitter for the Dolphins, who makes contact. We'll see if they put anything on here. They don't, and he takes outside, ball 4. So Schleidel walks, and that puts runners at first and second for the Dolphins. And that brings up the 3rd hitter of the order, Kenny Schleidel, the left fielder. And Kenny leads the team in hits with 28. Good time for 1 here. The wind has died down, so if he gets the ball high and in the air, it could go. And he hits a line drive over the shortstop's head, and it goes by the left fielder, and they're going to wave Hart in and Tannell in, and here's the play at the plate, and he's way safe. And Schleidel, he slides in, and they throw the ball past the third baseman, and there's your Little League home run, folks. Well, after some good defense, the Saints sort of imploded there. Schleidel hit a nice base hit over the shortstop's head. It went by the left fielder, which allowed Holland and Tanner Schleidel to score. Kenny went to third. The ball got by the third baseman, and he scored as well. So 3 runs on a hit. Miller works now to Parker White, and Parker White takes strike 1 down the middle. Ball outside, ball 1. So that was an exciting sequence of events for the Dolphins. Ball on the outside corner for ball 2. Miller working quickly now, and there's a foul ball behind home plate on Parker White. And he swings and just fouls it off. Parker struck out in the first inning. And 2-2 count, and here's the pitch. And he lines a drive to the right fielder who's right there and makes the catch for the third out. But the Dolphins hang a crooked 3 on the board after a seemingly simple base hit by Kenny Schleidel that turned into a Little League home run. Josh Holland started the inning by hitting a nice hit up the middle. Andrew Hart flied out to the shortstop. Harper Cox struck out looking. Then Tanner Schleidel walked, and Kenny Schleidel, with his base hit, scored Josh Holland, and Tanner Schleidel. Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Tanner comes out for the 4th inning with a 3-run lead this time. He'll face the number 3 hitter, Drew Norton, the third baseman, followed by Ryan Osinski, the first baseman, followed by Charlie Bounds, the catcher. Norton grounded out to second his first time up. Osinski grounded out to third his first time up, and Bounds struck out his first time up. So here we go in the top of the 4th. Dolphins leading 3-0, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled back for strike 1. Swung on and hit to the shortstop. Holland makes a nice pickup and easy throw over to first base for out number 1. That brings up the first baseman, Ryan Osinski, who grounded out to the to the third baseman, Jack Wickham, his first time up. And he takes outside ball 1. Schleidel now working with a 3-0 lead. He's getting a little toasty out here. And he throws one right down the middle for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And there's a fly ball that the right fielder Harper Cox settles under, and there's out number 2. So Osinski flies out to Cox, the right fielder, and that brings up Charlie Bounds, the catcher, and he struck out his first time up in the 2nd inning. And he takes inside, ball 1. Breeze is kicked up a little bit now. Outside high, ball 2. So Schleidel got 2 quick outs in this top of the 4th. Now working to Charlie Bounds, the catcher. Oh, and almost hits him on the inside corner, ball 3. So quickly he falls behind 3-0 to the catcher. And here's his 4th pitch. And that's down the middle for strike 1. Batter's taken the whole way. And inside again, ball 4. So, boy, that'll drive a manager crazy. When your pitcher comes out after scoring 3 runs and gets the first 2 batters out and then walks the next batter on 5 pitches. But that's what he did, and we'll see if the Dolphins can turn some defensive magic, and we'll see if the Saints can put some offense behind their effort here in the 4th inning. Aiden Pothholm is up, and he takes strike 1. Pothholm grounded out to short his last time up in the 2nd inning. And he grounds it off his foot for foul, strike 2. So Pothholm is in the hole, 0-2. 2 outs, 3-0 Dolphins here in the top of the 4th. Runner on first base for the Saints. And he strikes out on a nice slider by Tanner Schleidel. So Schleidel walks the 3rd batter he faces and strikes out the 4th one. And again, the Saints have a base runner in every inning this game and have no runs to show for it. So the Saints have stranded 4 runners in 4 innings. The Dolphins had a runner stranded in the 1st inning, had a runner caught stealing in the 2nd, and played at all 3 of their runnings in the 3rd. So we'll see what they can do here in the 4th, winning 3-0 in this first-round playoff game, being the 1 seed against the 9 seed. Remember, the Saints had a play yesterday for a play-in game. They beat Flint Hill 4-1. And it looks like we have a new pitcher for the Saints. And that is, oh, nope, mistaken. That's still number 14, Oliver Miller. The Dolphins will lead off the bottom of the 4th with Jack Wickham. Jack struck out looking his first time up. Cooper Angley, who got a hit and then was replaced by a pitch runner, Reed Downs, who got caught stealing. And then Yoon Chee got up. And Yoon grounded out to the shortstop for the 3rd out. So we'll see if the Dolphins can do more damage here in the bottom of the 4th on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Number 10, the 3rd baseman, Jack Wickham, sits in, and he faces number 14, Oliver Miller. And here's the pitch. And he takes high, ball 1. Appeal down to first base, and it's waved safe. Wickham did not go around, so ball 1. He takes outside, ball 2. Oh, it's called a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Wickham. And Jack takes it down and in, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the 4th, 3-0. And he lines a ball grounder to the second baseman, who makes a nice play over to first base. And so the second baseman, Smith Cole, turns a nifty little play to his left for out number 1. It's been some good defense, except for that one play last inning. The Saints and the Dolphins have played good defense. Just one error on both teams. Well, that last inning, there were multiple errors on that one play, but for the most part, not bad. Cooper Angley takes a strike for strike 1. He got a hit his last time up. He takes inside strike 2. So he's behind 0-2 already. He got the first hit of this ball game back in the second inning. And he hits a ground ball to the shortstop, who comes up and throws him out. So Angley grounds out to the shortstop. Wickham ground out to the second baseman, and that'll bring up our second baseman, Yoon Che. He takes ball high upstairs. Yoon's got 21 RBIs on the season, which co-leads the team, and he's also stolen 6 bases, which does lead the team. Takes down ball 2. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Cape Henry Dolphins. Second baseman Yoon Che is up with a 2-0 count. And he takes on the outside corner for a strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike. And he hits a ball to the shortstop as well, who comes up and makes a nice play, and that's 3 outs. So the Dolphins go down 1-2-3. The shortstop for the Saints having a busy inning. Josiah Harris throws out 2 batters, and their second baseman, Smith Cole, threw out the other one. So after 4, in the books, we've got a 3-0 ball game. Cape Henry over St. Stephen's St. Agnes. All right, so we're back here in the 5th inning. 3-0 Cape Henry Dolphins. We've got the DH, Maddie Leonardo, who walked his first time up, facing Tanner Schleidel for the 5th inning. And he takes high, ball 1 outside. Leonardo reached on a walk and was stranded at first base in the second inning. Schleidel throws a off-speed pitch high and outside for ball 2. Fouls it back into the screen for strike 1. Leonardo will be followed by the pitcher, Oliver Miller, and then the second baseman, Terrell Smith Cole. Swings and misses at a ball outside for strike 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And lines one back behind the home dugout. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes on the first batter here in the top of the 5th inning, with the Cape Henry Dolphins leading 3-0. Ball outside and high. So we've got a full count now on the leadoff hitter for the Saints here in the 5th inning, Maddie Leonardo, the designated hitter. And he takes ball inside for a walk. So Leonardo walks for the 2nd time in this game and reaches first base. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Oliver Miller. Miller flied out to the second baseman, Yoon Che, his last time up. Dolphins have already turned 1 double play in this game. Good time to turn another. And there's a ball high. And there's a long fly ball to left field, but it is out of play. Would not have gotten out, but that was well hit. Probably the best hit ball of this game, distance-wise, but it's foul. And it's nothing more than a long strike one. Schleidel looks in, and time is called. Leonardo, the DH, is at first, and here's the pitch, and it's bounced in the dirt for ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike on the pitcher, Oliver Miller. No outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Runner on first, and the pitch. And Miller is given time as Schleidel went into his windup, and he steps out. Umpire gives him the time. And so we're back to the 2-1 pitch. And he hits a high fly ball in the infield. The shortstop, Josh Holland, is calling it and makes that play. So there's the first out of the inning. Miller, the pitcher, flies out to the shortstop, Holland, and that brings up the number 9 hitter, Terrell Smith-Cole, the second baseman, and he flied out to the right fielder his last time up. We have another conference on the mound, and that looks like it's going to be all for Schleidel. So they've taken the ball from him, and they're going to bring in, it looks like, Brendan Hawley, number 24 for the Dolphins. Hawley's a senior. And that is number 24, Brendan Hawley. So he'll come in and take Tanner Schleidel's place at pitcher. Tim Hummel is conferring with the umpire and made the change. Not sure if we're doing any double switches. Looks like everybody else is staying pat. So straight switch with Brendan Hawley coming in to pitch for Tanner Schleidel. Hawley's first batter will be the number 9 hitter for the Saints, their second baseman, Terrell Smith-Cole, who flied out to right field his last time up. So the Dolphins, with a 3-0 lead here in the top of the 5th, make a pitching change. 1 out, 1 on. And Hawley takes his last pitch, warm-up. And we are getting ready to go. Hawley has 26 innings to his credit. He's given up 27 hits. He's got a 1.13 ERA. And his pitch, and it's called no time, and a balk is called by the second base umpire. So they call a balk on Hawley. And that gives the runner, Leonardo, down to second on a balk call. And so here we go. Hawley throws low, ball one. Terrell Smith is the second baseman, and he takes strike one down the middle. So the DH, Leonardo, was at second base after walking and getting down there on a balk. Next batter flied out to the shortstop, and our third batter takes a strike on the outside corner for strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Hawley, after balking his first pitch, has come back with a 1-2 count. And he strikes out the second baseman with a nice slider on the outside corner for out number 2. So that'll bring the top of the order up. Josiah Harris, the shortstop. Josiah flied out to the first baseman and singled his last time up. So he's 1 for 2. He's up now with a man at second base in scoring position. We'll see what Hawley can do. And he throws a nice off-speed pitch for strike one. And a nice hard hit ball to Che at second, who comes up and makes the play after a bobble, and that's the third out of the inning. So Hawley comes in and does his job, although with a balk, but still gets out of the inning unscathed, and the Dolphins are still leading after 5 innings, 3-0. It'll be their turn at bat to add to this lead. So our first substitute of the game was a pitching change. Brendan Hawley came in to relieve Tanner Schleidel and did his job. Got a strikeout and a ground ball to second. Well, this beautiful day here, after all this lousy weather, reminds me of another sport and a quote from a Hall of Fame icon of baseball. And the quote says, "It took me 17 years to get 3,000 hits in baseball. It took one afternoon on the golf course." And that's Mr. Hank Aaron, Hammerin' Hank himself. And as a golf duffer, I believe it. Here we go, leading off the bottom of the 5th. It's the shortstop, Josh Holland, who singled his last time up and then scored on that Little League home run by Kenny Schleidel. And he takes outside, ball one. I had the privilege of seeing Hank home run. Hank Aaron hit 2 home runs in Dodger Stadium as a kid. Strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Ooh, and that plunks Holland on the thigh, and he gets awarded first base. He looks okay. So that's the first hits batsman of the game, and that puts the leadoff hitter on base for the Dolphins. with Andrew Hart, the left fielder, coming to bat. Andrew flied out to the shortstop his first time at bat. He squares and bunts and lays one nicely down to third base, who makes the play, and he's safe. Hart legging the whole way, gets down the line quickly. The third baseman kind of nonchalantly threw it over there, and Hart, with blazing speed, a member of the Cape Henry track team, legs it out for a single. So Hart has his first hit of the game, and the Dolphins are in business with runners at first and second and no outs here in the bottom of the fifth. And that brings up Harper Cox. Harper struck out looking his first 2 times up. So he'll try to put the bat on the ball this time and see if he can move some runners around. And he squares to bunt, but takes the ball up high on the outside corner for ball 1. So the Dolphins looking at a little small ball here. And with Hart's speed, it's definitely a good job to do. He squares and bunts again, but takes it up high for... Oh. Was that called a strike? It was called strike. So the umpire called that one a strike. Did not really give the indication that it was a strike. Kind of pulled his arm up and made it look like a strike. And sure enough, he's saying it was a strike. So Cox has a 1-1 count, squares to bunt again. Miller, the pitcher, looks at him and throws one high and down, and that's fouled off for strike 2. So Harper Cox is in the hole here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. Andrew Hart at first, legging out an infield bunt. Josh Holland, who got hit by a pitch, at second. Oliver Miller steps off the mound, unsure what to do here. And he squares to bunt again, Cox. And this time he does lay one down. He throws, the pitcher gets it, but the pitcher falls down. Miller slides down as he's making the throw to third, and the ball does not get there in time, and Holland legs it out to third, and he's safe. So the Dolphins, on 2 bunts, have the bases loaded, and it hits batsman. So that's going to be an error on the pitcher for Cox. He reaches anyway. And so now the Dolphins have the bases loaded with Brendan Hawley, the replacement for Tanner Schleidel, in. And he hits a high fly ball to the right fielder, but it is foul. Just foul. Excuse me, Tanner Schleidel is in. So Tanner Schleidel, they must have done a double switch with Hawley. So Schleidel is still batting. We'll put Brendan Hawley in when he shows up in the hitting position. But Tanner Schleidel is still batting, and so he fouls off down the right field line for strike number 1. Can't get the umpire's scorecard, so we're a little behind here, but Tanner Schleidel is definitely hitting now with the bases loaded, and he's our number 1 hitter, so let's see what Tanner can do. And the pitch. And he takes it right down Broadway for strike 2. Good pitch by Miller. Bases loaded, no outs. Bottom of the 5th, 3-0 Dolphins. And they're threatening here. And Schleidel hits a line drive to the center fielder, who makes the catch. Holland tags up at third, and he scores easily for the 4th Dolphin run. So Tanner Schleidel does his job, scoring Holland from third on a sacrifice fly. Runners stay at first and second. That's the first that's the first run of, that's the first run and first out of the inning. I'll get it right. And that brings up Kenny Schleidel. And Kenny takes down low, ball 1. Kenny has 2 base hits in this game. Well, his first time was an error. He base hit second time and then scored on that round the corner. They called a foul tip on Schleidel for strike one. So 1-1 count. One out, one run in, and he hits a high fly ball over the second baseman, and it's going to drop, and it does. And so everybody is safe now. So Schleidel with a little Texas leaguer over the second baseman's head and drops, and the Dolphins have the bases loaded again with one out. Again, better to be lucky than good. And in that case, Schleidel is both. So the bases are still loaded, and that brings up the first baseman, Parker White, the left fielder. Parker has homered in this ballpark twice while we've done broadcasts. The wind is blowing a little bit out now to the right field, where's where he goes. So we'll see if he gets a pitch he can do something with. And he does hit a high fly ball, but it looks like it's going to be fair behind third base, and the third baseman makes the catch. So White flies out on the first pitch for the second out in the inning. And that will bring up Jack Wickham. So White, with an opportunity to do some damage, flies out to the third baseman, and Wickham, who struck out looking and grounded out to the second baseman his last time up, he takes the first pitch and hits a fly ball, and the right fielder makes a diving play and makes the catch. Now that is a bona fide good defensive play. The right fielder, and as his name is Mr. Aiden Palthom, made a wonderful diving play. That ball would have been foul, but he made the diving play, and with the bases loaded, saved numerous runs. So the Dolphins don't get lucky there. They do score one run to make it 4-0, but they left three stranded that inning. So the Dolphins come up with two hits, a hits batter and a sacrifice fly to manufacture their runs. But they left the bases loaded, and that could come back to be detrimental if they don't hold the Saints in these last two innings. So the Saints will come up with their second batter, A.J. Digler, the center fielder, followed by their third baseman, Drew Norton, and their first baseman, Ryan Osinski. They're down 4-0 and running out of time. They've only got 6 outs left. So Tanner Schleidel must be the DH now. Brendan Hawley came in to pitch and moved Tanner Schleidel to the DH position, and he throws his first pitch, Brendan Hawley, and it's ball one inside. A.J. Digler is the hitter for the Saints. Ball two inside. So Hawley puts up 2 inside pitches for 2 balls here in the top of the 6th inning, leading 4-0. And almost hits him with ball 3. And there's one right down Main Street, strike one. So 3-1 count to A.J. Digler, the center fielder for the St. Stephen's St. Agnes Saints, and he grounds a ball to third baseman Wickham, who makes an easy play over to first baseman White for out number 1. So 5-3 for out number 1 here in the top of the 6th. St. Stephen's St. Agnes, again, came in 17-6 record. Or 17-9, excuse me. They are the 9 seed in this playoff series against the 1 seed Cape Henry Dolphins in Virginia Beach. Drew Norton, the third baseman, takes ball 1 outside. Hits a flare out to right field for a base hit. And so the Saints have their second batter in the inning on base with a nice little base hit. That'll bring up the first baseman, Ryan Osinski. That's the first hit off Hawley since replacing Tanner Schleidel in the 4th inning. Or the 5th inning, excuse me. Ryan Osinski is now batting, and he takes low ball 1. Norton, the third baseman, gets a nice lead off first. Hawley takes a peek over. And the pitch, and it's an inside curveball for a strike. And there's a ground ball that is going to be called a double play. Che, the second baseman, tried to catch it on a fly. It went in and out of his glove. They stepped on second and threw the ball to first in time, and that should be a double play. Unless he's calling it that Che actually made the catch at second for the second out and therefore couldn't make the double play. But Che definitely dropped the ball. Hummel is now going to ask the first base umpire what's going on. Excuse me, that is James Supple, that's Supple, the coach of the Saints, is going to ask the umpires to conference it, but it definitely was a double play the way the umpires called it. Che had the ball for an instant. Out, and that's the double play. It's the right call. We saw it here. Che almost came up with it, but didn't. It was a hard hit ball right at his feet. He made the play, dropped it, flipped to second baseman, the shortstop, Holland, threw to first. The batter actually stopped running, and it was an easy double play. So, believe it or not, that's a 4-6-3 double play. So, yeah, second double play for the Cape Henry Dolphins, albeit a little herky-jerky, but it counts. The umpires got it right. So, good defense again. That ball was hit fairly hard, but right at Che's feet, and he, for a second, had it, but the ball popped out of his glove and had the wherewithal to flip it to the second where Josh Holland, the shortstop, was waiting. As I mentioned, the batter stopped running, and he was only halfway down the line when Parker White, the first baseman, took the throw, and that was all she wrote. So the Saints go down in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, and they've only got 3 outs left, and the Cape Henry Dolphins are coming up in their bottom half of the 6th, up 4-0. And they'll start off with their catcher, Cooper Angley, batting. Cooper had a hit his first time up, grounded out to short his second. I apologize for the misread on the coaches out there. The coach for the Saints is wearing the exact same outfit as Tim Hummel, the coach of the Cape Henry Dolphins. Long white pants and a red shirt. They're both tall gentlemen. Nevertheless, we move on. 6th inning, bottom of 4-0 Dolphins. And Oliver Miller still in the game, and he throws strike one. And Angley swings and hits the ball off his foot for strike two. Miller's pitched a great game so far. Really has not given up much. Had that one crazy play in the 5th inning, last inning, where in the 3rd inning, where ball kind of got around the horn a little bit there, but that wasn't his fault. And he strikes out Cooper Angley on 3 pitches. So the Dolphins are sending up Yoon Che, their second baseman. Yoon has grounded out twice to the shortstop, 0 for 2 today. Made some nifty plays at second base for defense, and he fouls one back, strike one. We've seen some really good defensive plays on both sides today, infield and outfield. A few errors, but it's been a pretty well-played game on both sides. And he hits another ground ball. This time it's between the third baseman and the shortstop for a base hit. So Yoon Che comes up with his first hit of the game, and he's a runner on first for the Cape Henry Dolphins. Brings up the shortstop, Josh Holland. Holland got a hit his first time up and scored on that crazy play we talked about. Was hit by a pitch and scored in the last inning. They throw over to Che, but he's back. Yoon does lead the team in stolen bases. Quick delivery by Miller. Low down, ball one. Miller going to kind of a side delivery now. Getting rid of the ball quickly with a quick runner on first, and he's up high for ball two. So quickly falls behind Josh Holland, the shortstop, 2-0. And delivers. And Holland hits a fly ball to the right fielder, who makes the play in fair territory for out number 2. So Holland flies out to the right fielder for the second out of the inning. And Yoon Che is still at first base. That'll bring up Andrew Hart. Andrew had an infield bunt single his last time up, legging out a bunt. And that loaded the bases and kept the inning going, and Dolphins did score a run. He swings and hits a flare to the center fielder. It drops for a hit. Yoon Che is on his way to third, and he's called out at third base. Nice play by the center fielder, number 3, A.J. Degler, who throws a dart to the third baseman and cuts down Yoon Che for the third out. So a great defensive play there by the Saints. And they turn a nice play to get out of their inning and put the Dolphins into the 7th inning with a 4-0 lead. So Hart's credited with a hit, and Che is thrown out at third by the center fielder. So Degler, the center fielder, to Norton, the third baseman. Norton applied a beautiful tag, and the umpire was right there. Tim Hummel is conferencing with the home plate umpire. And now we've got some substitutions for the Dolphins. Yoon Che, the second baseman, is now pitching. Tanner Schleidel, who was pitching and then became the DH, he's at second now. Everybody else is in their positions. So Tanner Schleidel comes out from the dugout as the DH and takes second. And then Yoon Chae, the second baseman, is now going to come in and work the last inning of relief for the Dolphins. So the Cape Henry Dolphins, the number 1 seed, looking to win this one 4-0 against the 9 seed St. Stephen St. Agnes here at Cape Henry Collegiate in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Saints traveling all the way from Alexandria, Virginia, which is up by the D.C. metro area, just outside of Arlington. Beautiful area of Northern Virginia. Had the pleasure of living up there for 20 some odd years, and I miss the neighbors, but not the traffic. And they don't have an ocean like we do here. So, while we wait for Yoon Chae to empty his cleats of dirt, we'll go ahead and pause and say thank you to the wonderful grounds crew and the athletic department here at Cape Henry Collegiate. This field is absolutely pristine and in wonderful, wonderful condition. And any team that comes here is impressed by the wonderful conditions that they find here at Cape Henry. All right, so here we go. Bottom of the 7th, 4-0 Cape Henry, and Yoon starts off with a high fastball for ball 1. Charlie Bounds, the catcher, will start it off for the Saints, and he takes inside high ball 2. So Yoon Chae is behind 2-0 on the first batter he's faced here in the bottom of the top of the 7th. Saints need 4 to tie and 5 if they want to put it back on the Dolphins. Yoon Chae comes up high again for ball 3. So Yoon has thrown 3 hard pitches, but none of them near the strike zone. Takes a little off that one, but it's still high and inside for ball 4. So Yoon Chae comes in and walks the first batter he faces, Charlie Bounds, the catcher, and that brings up Adam Palthom. And Palthom made a wonderful diving play back in the 5th inning to save many runs with the bases loaded. And let's see what he can do now at the bat. And he takes down the middle for strike 1. Aiden grounded out to short his first time up and struck out his second. And way inside, ball 1. Almost hit him. He got out of the way. Yoon Chae has not looked over too much to first. There he goes. Takes a peek now to see where the runner is. That runner really doesn't matter. The Dolphins need outs, up 4-0 here in the top of the 7th inning in this first round playoff game. Chae comes in with a nice off-speed pitch for a strike. So he's now ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Aiden Palthom, the right fielder for the St. Stephen St. Agnes Saints. Good crowd here at Cape Henry. And he throws one nice down the middle. That is foul back behind the plate, so he's now got a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Saints desperately need some runners on base. They can turn over the lineup and get some runs in this game to keep it going. And he hits a little lazy fly ball to Tanner, and he's called off, second baseman, by the right fielder Harper Cox. The right play, and Schleidel gets out of the way, and Harper Cox makes the first out of the inning. So Aiden pops out to the right fielder for the first out, and that brings up Maddie Leonardo, the designated hitter. Leonardo walked his last 2 times at bat, got to second on a balk and was stranded there. He takes high, ball 1. So the Dolphins are 2 outs away from winning their first playoff game here at the Virginia State Independent School League. And there's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. 4-0 Cape Henry Dolphins. And a nice curveball on the inside corner for strike 2. Looks like Yoon Che has decided to break out the repertoire after throwing lots of fastballs out of the strike zone, and his off-speed stuff is having the mark. And there's another beautiful outside changeup on the corner for strike 3. So Leonardo strikes out looking, and that's the 2nd out of the inning, and that brings up the pitcher for the Saints, their last gasp, Oliver Miller. And it looks like the coach is making a substitution here. Miller is slowly walking back to the dugout. And he is. He's making a substitution. I'll let you know who that is if I can see the number. So Oliver Miller pitched a dandy of a game, folks. The score might not reflect it, 4-0, but he was the recipient of some crazy errors behind him. But he pitched a whale of a game and deserves credit for holding the number 1 seed in this tournament to only 4 runs, and only 2 of them earned. And there's a ground ball that Cooper Angley fields in front of the plate and throws out the hitter. And the home plate umpire said it was a foul ball. So Angley jumped out of there like he was on fire and threw the ball down to first, but the umpire had called it a foul ball. So there's the first strike. I'm sorry, I can't tell you who the batter is. I can't see his number from here, but Miller is out of the game. And this time it's a ground ball to the third baseman. Wickham comes up with it and throws it over to first, and that's the ball game. Nice play by the third baseman, Wickham. And so the Dolphins escape with a 4-0 win over the 9-seed St. Stephen's St. Agnes team from Alexandria, Virginia. The Saints won a play-in game yesterday 4-1 against Flint Hill and had to make the trip down to Virginia Beach, but represented themselves very well here in this game against the 1 seed. And so now both teams go ahead and line up to shake hands. Umpires Curly, Larry, and Mo are shaking hands, and they're departing as well. And so a beautiful day of baseball, a good result. And the Cape Henry Collegiate Dolphins, by a score of 4-0, win this first playoff game and advance to the 2nd round. And they'll play Friday outside of Petersburg in Colonial Heights, Virginia. And will meet their 2nd round opponent in the VISAA state playoffs. Well, this will be the last game for me this season, so it's been a pleasure calling baseball for you. And I want to thank my team of Drew and Wyatt for holding down the fort here, working the camera and working the in-screen score box for you. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you all enjoy your wonderful day and enjoy this summer of baseball. Thank you.